I always knew something was wrong. It did affect our family for generations. I looked back at like my grandma. My grandmother never knew why she couldn't walk right. It was a giant mystery, and I just wanted to find out what was wrong with me and my twin sister also. Some of my early symptoms, I had a terrible speech problem. I couldn't say R's and S's. I have sisters named Susie and Terry, so that was fun. I think that the teeth issues had some impact on my speech, for sure. When I went to the doctor as a kid with my mother, and my mother said, no, don't tell them you have headaches. It'll just be a wild goose chase. They'll ask you a bunch of questions and you'll never get any answers. My experience with doctors throughout my life has almost always been that they can't find the source of my pain. I went to the doctor year after year and said, I'm exhausted. I'm tired to the bone. My bones ache. And they'd say, well, you're working a lot and you have kids at home and of course you're tired. I say 30 hit me like a ton of bricks. I started losing some of my strength. I thought maybe it was just getting old. I felt like I was aging at the same rate as my mother. So as I got older, we could see more things happening with more people in our family. For us, it was just tough because we couldn't put it together. We didn't even know where to look or what kind of doctor to go to. In my 50s, I thought I can't live like this anymore. I got to the point where I was so sick. I was in so much pain that I thought I cannot go on like this. It was hard watching Amy get worse as she got older. We both were deteriorating. Amy was embarrassed to share her symptoms with most people, so she kept it locked inside. But she was always honest with me. We had each other to lean on, and together we figured out a plan. At some point, my niece said, hey, let's keep a document where we all can add to it and talk about our symptoms. I think the spreadsheet was key, because then we started taking that to doctors and saying, look, it's not just me being hysterical. This is a big issue within my whole family, and that was the thing that opened our eyes. I found a genetic testing place, and they tested for everything, and it just happened. We finally found a big piece of the puzzle. I had the variant that causes hypophosphatasia, and that's the first time I ever heard about it. So the first couple doctors I went to after I had that genetic test result in my hands said, oh no, you can't have HPP. They said that our blood work was normal, even though our alkaline phosphatate levels fell within the low range of normal. We were frustrated, so we got a recommendation for an endocrinologist who specialized in HPP. Before the appointment with the new doctor, she had us provide an extensive medical history, and she ran additional tests that revealed that we also had hyperparathyroidism. She said that the hyperparathyroidism can make ALP look elevated. We sat in the room and she was talking to us like we had HPP. I had to stop her and say, wait, can you tell me, do we have HPP? And she said, most definitely you have HPP. She explained why she knows that we have it. We have the symptoms and our ALP is low, and because of the other things we had going on, our ALP didn't look as low as many people with HPP have. Yes, when the doctor confirmed that we indeed had HPP, I burst into tears. I was just so relieved to cross that line. It was a significant hurdle to have overcome. But thinking about all the times we were ridiculed and deemed as crazy, and the years of doctor's visits that left us disappointed, made this moment feel almost like a victory. We finally had an answer. Thinking that it took 41 years to get diagnosed with this, it just took so much tenacity. I'm actually surprised that we ever got diagnosed because it was so hard. I just knew that something was wrong. And because I have other family members, I had to find out. If it was just me, maybe I would think, okay, I'll just live like this. But for my children and my nieces, and my nephews and my grandchildren, we had to figure it out. One thing that Amy and I have learned is that there's a kind of compassion. And so that's something I feel like, having gained that insight as a family, that we can be more compassionate to our children and grandchildren and help them be proud of themselves. That's a big deal. So that makes me feel very hopeful.